One of the most important things you should always focus on the farm is return on investment. And one of the things that frustrates me the most often is when we'll say, well, we've got this product that's good, like let's say fungicide in soybeans, but also you need to spray insecticide in soybeans. And then the farmer will say, well, I only have enough money to do one of the two things. Look, if they'll both provide you a tremendous return on investment, do both. You need to find some more capital if that's the situation, because you can't let opportunities like you have here in 2011 pass you by. It's not that often when we have $5 corn, $12 soybeans, and $7 or $8 wheat. We've got a chance to make lots of money this year, and chemical prices actually came down this year. So we want you to really focus on return on investment. We're going to give you some quick examples here in soybeans and wheat.
The other thing that I hear a lot of is guys saying, well, wait a minute, we've got these great commodity prices, so I just need to keep spending money, just keep trying new things and whatnot. You definitely have to look at return on investment. Don't just spend money for the purpose of spending money. It's not always going to bring you a good return, but here are a few examples of things that could be a good return for your farm.
Okay, let's start in wheat. All right, if you're out there already spraying a herbicide in wheat, what we would suggest is adding a fungicide in a lot of cases, and generally for early season diseases, at least in the upper Midwest, and especially in the Western Corn Belt, we don't have a lot of disease pressure, so you'll probably only gain 3 bushels, let's say on average. That's usually what farmers will see by doing this, and you only need a half rate of fungicide. So if the fungicide costs $5, you're already out there spraying, so you don't have an extra trip or anything like that. If you've got $7 wheat and you gain 3 bushels, that's a $21 total payback, less the $5 that you had for costs. So you've got $16 net that you made by this treatment. If you divide the $16 by $5 that you invested, take that times 100, that comes out to a 320% return on investment. Now, if you only invested your money for 4 months, because remember, this is in season when you're spraying and you're going to harvest in just a few months. If you only invest your money for 4 months, you simply take your 320% divided by 4, multiplied times 12 months, and that gets 960% net APR return on investment. If you didn't know this, that's slightly better than you would get putting that money in the bank.
Well, it's not just for wheat farmers. There are these types of opportunities no matter what crop that you're raising. Let's look in soybeans, for example. One of the best things that we did last year was make a late application with a fungicide and an insecticide right in that R2 to R3 timing. That's full bloom to first pod. Now, I've recently looked at university data that backs this up as well. They're getting a benefit when they're using both a fungicide and an insecticide, more so than the gain of either one separately. Now let's just look at the numbers.
On our farm last year, when we went out with a fungicide and an insecticide post-emerge at about the R2, R3 stage, so in other words, full flower, first pod, right in that area, we gained 7.7 bushels per acre. But for our example, let's just figure 3 bushels, because bare minimum, you should at least be getting that. So if you went out there with a half rate of headline and a full rate of declare insecticide, it'll only cost you about $8 an acre. All right, if you gain 3 bushels times $12 soybeans, that's $36 an acre you're going to gain, less the $8 you spent, $28 net. If you divide the $28 by the $8 you invested times 100, that's 350% return on investment. Now, if you prepaid for this stuff, let's say you've got your money invested for 9 months, so you take your 350% divided by 9 months, multiply times 12 months, that's 467% net return on investment. It's huge.
So you can see there are great opportunities to get a good return on your investment dollar, whether you're in soybeans, wheat, or any crop. Now, one thing that always pays a good return on investment is controlling this week's Weed of the Week. We'll show you what it is coming up next.